So, you've just got into collecting Pokemon cards. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you have an older collection, and you've heard just how valuable they could be. But whatever the case, all you want to know is if the cards you have are anything special. And chances are, they might be. All we've got to do is find them. What's up guys, Pokémon here, and if like so many others, that's you, well, then you've come to the right place. Welcome back to the next episode where I'll be showing you guys how to find out if your Pokemon cards are rare or expensive. So, with that in mind, this video will be divided into two parts. Part 1 on how to tell the rarity of your Pokemon cards, and Part 2 on how to find their value. But that's enough of an intro. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Because you could be sitting on some seriously rare cards. Alright, so finding the rarity of your Pokemon cards is actually a lot easier than you might think, especially with newer releases. So, as you can see here, I've got a bunch of random Pokemon cards, ranging from as old as 20 years to as new as, well, now. The designs of the cards have changed slightly throughout the years, but regardless of age, every single Pokemon card has a small section at the bottom containing all the information about it. In the newer cards, this will be in the bottom left, and in older cards, you might find this in the bottom right. Regardless of age, however, or location, in this section is where you will find the rarity of your Pokemon card. And with Pokemon cards, this is signified by a couple of different symbols, which we will go through now. So, if we take a look at this card here, we can see a black circle. What a circle means is that this card, right here, is common. Any card with a circle, regardless of age, regardless of location, is a common card. Next, taking a look at these cards, they have a diamond. And what a diamond means is that these cards are uncommon. And now, if we take a look at the bottom of these cards, they all have a star, which means that these cards are rare. Rare cards, obviously being rare, are printed in far fewer quantities than common or uncommon cards, so these, of the three, have the highest potential to be valuable. Alright, so these are the three main symbols that you might see on your Pokemon cards. The circle meaning common, the diamond meaning uncommon, and the star meaning rare. There are others, which we'll be getting into shortly, but first, there are also a couple variations of these three rarities that you might find. So, taking a look at these cards here, they're all the exact same. And they all have a circle in the bottom, meaning that they're all common. But they also each look slightly different. So, this first one here is a normal print Pokemon card. It's the standard, so nothing too crazy or flashy going on here. And next, this one is called a reverse holo. These are easily recognizable as the entire card, aside from the illustration, is shiny. And while you might see a lot of different designs and patterns on these, they're all still reverse holo Pokemon cards, all entirely foil except for the picture. Since every pack of Pokemon cards is usually guaranteed at least one or even two reverse holo Pokemon cards, these usually aren't worth too much more, but they definitely look really cool. And finally, we have our holo cards. As you can see here, rather than the whole card being shiny, this time only the picture is. Unlike reverse holo cards, which can come in any rarity at all, holo cards are mostly only rare, and some of them can be very valuable. In some of the really old sets, a holo card was the absolute best thing you can pull in a pack. Although in modern sets, they have since taken a step back, and now they aren't nearly as desirable anymore. But even so, they're still very cool. Having any one of these cards is awesome, especially now that we can tell them apart. But what about the special, super rare cards? That is, the cards above our standard regular rares. These were first introduced back in 2003 with the EX cards of EX Ruby and Sapphire, and ever since then, Pokemon has continued to push even rarer, even more special, and even more visually striking cards. These are what you want to pull from a pack. So, let's go ahead and take a look at all the different kinds of special, super rare cards that you might find, as well as their respective rarity symbols. With the release of the Scarlet and Violet set in 2023, these special cards were actually given unique names, and even rarity symbols to go along with them, which makes identifying them a lot easier. but don't worry, we will also be looking at their equivalents from past sets. So, if we take a look at the bottom of this card here, you'll see that there are 2 black stars, which indicates that this card is a double rare. This is the first tier of special cards, and it includes regular version Pokemon EX cards, such as these, with equivalents from older sets being regular Pokemon V cards, VMAX, V-Star, as well as GX and older EX cards. You will only see the double black star in Scarlet and Violet though, as in any of these older sets, you will only see a single shiny silver star. This is what was previously used for all special cards of all types. So if you see a shiny silver star, you know you've got something there, but unfortunately, in anything that's not part of the latest Scarlet and Violet sets, there won't be any symbol that tells you exactly how rare. So on that note, the next highest rarity is the double white star, which indicates that this card is an ultra rare. These are your full art cards, meaning that the artwork covers the entire card. It may include both full art Pokemon EX or full art trainer cards. Again, in anything older than Scarlet and Violet, you'll just have the same shiny silver star as before. But full art V cards, full art GX cards, older full art EX cards, as well as all full art trainer cards from across the years would also be equivalent to this double white star ultra rare rarity. And next, if we take a look at the bottom of this card, we can see one single gold star. A gold star rarity symbol means that this is an illustration rare card. These are actually full card, alternate illustrations of regular Pokemon cards. As you can see here, this Wiglet illustration rare is actually the exact same card as this regular common Wiglet here. The HP, attacks, everything is the exact same, except for the artwork of course. These are equivalent to character rare cards, as well as trainer gallery and Galarian gallery cards. And now we're getting into the real big hitters. These are some of the rarest that you can pull, and definitely include some of the most desirable and most valuable cards of each set. So, if you look at the bottom left of your card, and you see a double gold star, that means that this is a special illustration rare. These are similar in concept to the previous illustration rare cards, except that they are instead alternate illustrations of full art, ultra rare Pokemon EX, or trainer cards. So, as you can see here, this Spidops card is the exact same as this double white star, ultra rare full art Spidops. They have the same HP and attacks, everything, but the artwork is different, and usually it's much more unique and artistic. These would be roughly equivalent to other alternate art cards of the past, such as alternate art V and alternate art GX cards. And finally, the rarest cards that you can pull are those with a triple gold star, meaning that this is a hyper rare card. These encompass all gold cards, and include gold, full art, Pokemon EX, as well as gold trainers, and even gold energy cards. Equivalents from the past would be other gold cards, and although these still only have the same shiny silver star, it's usually pretty obvious if you've got a gold card, because they're, well, gold. Such as these, Gold V and older EX cards, as well as trainer cards. Also included here are rainbow rare cards of the past, which again, it's pretty obvious if you've got a rainbow rare card. So those were the main symbols that are used to indicate Pokemon card rarity, but there are still a few others that you might come across, so we'll go ahead and cover these now, and they're in no particular order. So, taking a look at this card here, we can see a black star with the word promo written across it, which simply means that this is a promo or promotional card. These were obtained outside of randomized booster packs, so they don't have an actual rarity. Maybe they were from the front of a box, like this one, or they may have even been from a special event or celebration. Essentially, any card that did not come from a booster pack is a promo, so these can be anything. Super common or super rare, all depending on how widely available or exclusive they were. They can even look like anything, from this regular holographic Pikachu to this epic full art Charizard. Another symbol that you might see is something like this, a colorful silhouette of a Pokemon. It can be any Pokemon. This means that the card was from a pre-constructed theme deck. These are roughly equivalent to promos, and that they were not pulled from a pack, although most of them are not very valuable at all, because they are, or were, pretty easy to get. If you happen to see an A symbol with a rainbow around it, like on this card, then that indicates an amazing rare. These are the rough equivalent of a standard double rare EX or V card. And if you happen to have a radiant or shiny Pokemon, these are also roughly equivalent to your standard EX or V. And finally, there is a chance that you might see no symbol at all. This is pretty uncommon, as most all Pokemon cards do have symbols, but there are a few exceptions. McDonald's promo cards are a big one, and this is the most likely case. But there might be a few others from other special events, so if your Pokemon card has no symbol, then that might just require a little extra research to find out what's up. And I almost forgot, there's one last thing that I want to mention, and that is secret rare cards. A secret rare essentially means that the card exists outside the advertised set list or official number of cards. So, to identify a secret rare, look in the bottom, right around where the rarity symbol is, and you'll see a set of numbers. The first one, right here, is this card's specific number in the set, and this next number is the number of cards in the set. Secret rares will have a set number higher than the number of cards advertised in the set. So, this card right here is number 254 out of 198 cards, making it a secret rare. By contrast, this card here is number 125 out of 198, and so this one is not a secret rare. Now, throughout the years, the significance of secret rares has varied, as in older sets, these cards were few and very rare, but in newer sets, they have since become a lot more common and encompass a lot more cards, not necessarily meaning as much anymore as they used to, although they're still definitely rare cards. Alright, so with that, we've just looked at every possible rarity for a Pokemon card, and hopefully you are now able to identify a couple nice ones in your collection. But of course, now that these rare cards have been discovered, the question on everybody's mind is, how much are they worth? Well, I'll let you guys in on a secret. Nobody, including me, knows every card's market value right off the top of their head. That's simply impossible. There are way too many cards, and of course, their value is always changing. That's because, like most collectibles, Pokemon cards are only worth as much as someone is willing to pay for it at that time. A good rule of thumb, though, is that rare cards, like your special illustration rares or hyper rares, are typically worth more, while commons or uncommons are usually worth a lot less. But you can't always tell without doing a little research, and thankfully, the internet makes this very easy. So we'll start with modern cards, that is, any card from around 2010 to present day. For these, I like to use a website called TCGplayer, which will be the first link in the description below. So as you can see here, I've got this Slowpoke card from Scarlet and Violet base set. I absolutely love this little guy, he just looks so derpy, but how much is it worth? So, in order to find that out, we need to look up this card. To do that, first type the card's name. So in this case, it's Slowpoke, and then its set number, which you can find right here in the bottom left. So, this card here is Slowpoke 204 out of 198, and as you can see, it pops up right over here. So now, here's our card, which means that we're in the right place. You can see all of its details right here, but what we're here for is its price. So, if we go ahead and scroll down a little bit, and look right here, right under current price points, you will see the card's market price, which is its current average selling price. In the case of this Slowpoke, its market price is $8.70, making this about a $9 card. Although this price can definitely change, both in the upwards or downwards direction. TCGplayer actually provides price history as well, so you can see that this card started at $9.65 when it was first released, peaked at $11, and has since come down a little bit. But anyways, that's how to find the value of your modern Pokemon cards using TCGplayer. Not too bad, right? Actually, it's pretty easy, isn't it? For cards older than 2010 though, your vintage cards, TCGplayer is a little less reliable. So for these, I like to use eBay, which, again, I will link down below. You could also totally use eBay for your modern cards as well, and I often use it to cross-check my cards, so that could be a good idea too. So as you can see here, I've got this Mewtwo holo card from the 1999 Pokemon base set. Just like with TCGplayer, the way we look up this card is by typing its name, so Mewtwo, as well as its set number, which we can find right here in the bottom right of this card. So in this case, we'll go ahead and type Mewtwo 10 out of 102, and hit search. Next, you'll see a bunch of listings, but it's important that you scroll all the way down and hit sold items. On mobile, hit filters, scroll down, and hit sold items from there. This will bring up all sold listings for this Mewtwo card. This step is important because anybody can list their Mewtwo card for absolutely whatever they want, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's worth that. We want to see what the card is actually selling for. So now we'll go ahead and average these prices. We've got one here for about $60 with shipping, one for $50, one for $30, so I'd say this card is worth about $40 to $50. Of course, ours is not in great condition though, so that's something that you'll also have to account for. It's also important to note that you might see graded cards, like these, selling for significantly more. Basically, these cards were sent to a company where their condition was professionally analyzed, graded based on a scale of 1 to 10, and then sealed in a protective slab. Obviously, these are worth a lot more than just a regular rock card, and if you have a really valuable card, it might be worth considering. Although I won't go into too much detail here. I just figured I should mention it. Alright, so that's how to tell if your Pokemon cards are rare or expensive. I really hope that somewhere in here I was able to help you guys out, and that you've now got all your questions answered. But if you'd like to ask me anything in terms of value, rarity, whether your cards are real, identifying a card, anything at all, you can go ahead and leave a comment below. I do my best to answer every single one of them. Or you can also DM me on Instagram at Vitkomon. But anyways, again, I hope you guys were able to find some rare and expensive cards in your collection. Thank you guys so much for watching, and without further ado, stay tuned for the next episode.